In a picturesque Nigerian village where the towering baobab trees cast long protective shadows over the land, the village is alive with daily life, where women in brightly colored dresses sell their wares, men toil the fields under the sun, and children play among the huts and chickens that roam freely. It is in this village where the sun kisses the earth with warmth and the wind whispers ancient tales, and the story of Alika and her 3 suitors began. Alika is the pride of the village, a young woman whose beauty was only surpassed by her kindness. Her deep brown eyes sparkle with a warmth that touches every heart, and her radiant skin glows like polished mahogany under the sun. With her hair neatly braided and covered with a colorful gel made of ASO ochre fabric, she walks through the village square, her bright flowing dress of Ankara cloth billowing around her. Villagers greet her with smiles, and children, drawn to her gentle presence, follow her with laughter and playful steps. As Alika walks towards her home, she greets a married couple, Sadiki and Rehema, who are on their way to the market. After she passes by, they whisper between themselves, admiring her grace. "Look at her," Sadiki murmurs. "Such beauty is rare." Every young man in the village wishes to marry her. Rehema agrees with a nod. Indeed, Alika's beauty is renowned, but her father, Uchenna, a wise and dignified elder, knew that true worth is measured by more than just outward appearances. Widowed and living a life of quiet reflection, Uchenna is a man respected by all. On this day, he sits under the shade of the great baobab tree, preparing to meet the 3 men who have come to seek his daughter's hand in marriage. Each suitor was unique, and it was Uchenna's duty to choose the one most worthy of Alika's betrothal. The first to arrive was Elimu, a tall and serious young man, known throughout the village as a scholar. He approaches Uchenna with a respectful bow, carrying a scroll that symbolizes his devotion to knowledge. "Elimu," Uchenna begins, gesturing for him to sit. "I have heard much about you. What makes you believe you are worthy to marry my daughter?" Elimu, with a solemn expression, responds, "I have studied the wisdom of our ancestors, learned the histories, and mastered the complexities of geometry and religion. With this knowledge, I shall guide Alika and our future children in the ways of righteousness and wisdom. My heart is devoted to understanding, and with understanding, I will ensure that our family prospers." Uchenna nodded thoughtfully. "Wisdom is indeed a valuable trait. But tell me, what significance does love place in your heart?" Elimu paused before answering. "Love is the foundation of all knowledge, for without it our minds and hearts would be barren. I will cherish Alika as one would a precious manuscript, tending to her with care and reverence." "A learned man you are, Elimu," Uchenna acknowledged with a slight smile. "I shall consider your words carefully." Elimu bows once more and takes his leave, allowing Sekani, the second suitor, to step forward. Sekani is a man of quick wit and light-heartedness, always seen with a playful smile. He carries a small bouquet of freshly picked flowers, which he presents to Uchenna with a flourish. "Elder Uchenna," Sekani begins with a grin and bows to him as a sign of respect. "I bring these flowers as a symbol of how I wish to treat Alika, with beauty, care, and a touch of joy. Life is too short to be taken too seriously, and with me, Alika will find laughter in every day. Together, we will create a garden of happiness." Uchenna raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Happiness is fleeting, Sekani. What will you do when the seasons change and the flowers wither?" Sekani, undeterred, replies, "Even in the barren seasons, I will find the seeds of joy. Just as I tend to my garden, I will tend to Alika's heart, ensuring that it blooms in every circumstance. Laughter is the rain that nourishes love, and I will make sure our days are filled with it. Uchenna chuckles. You speak with a clever tongue. Sekani, I shall think on your words. As Sekani exits with a playful bow, the third suitor, Hamidi, walks toward Uchenna, bows to him as a sign of respect, and asks for his permission to meet with him. Uchenna motions him to come closer. Hamidi is a man of few words, known more for his deeds than his speech. With a calm demeanor, he carries a small wooden carving, a symbol of his craft and dedication. Hamidi, Uchenna said, noticing the simple attire and the faithful dog by his side. You are a man of few words, I hear. Why do you seek to marry my daughter? Hamidi confidently presents the wooden carving. I carved this piece for Alika, a symbol of my dedication. My hands are rough from work, but my heart is steady and true. I may not know the history contained in ancient scrolls or the lightness of wheat, but I offer a life of stability and quiet strength. Alika will be safe with me, and I will love her as I cherish the earth beneath my feet. Uchenna takes the carving, examining it with care. A steady hand and a calm heart are indeed valuable. But tell me, Hamidi, what will you do when life tests your resolve? Hamidi knelt beside his dog, his voice firm. When life is hard, I will stand firm, just as this dog stands by my side through every trial. I will protect Alika with the same loyalty, and together we will weather any storm. Uchenna nodded approvingly. Your words are few, but they carry weight. I shall meditate on your sincerity. As Hamidi left, Uchenna remained under the baobab tree, deep in thought. Each suitor brought something unique to the table: wisdom, joy, or steadfastness. But only one could be chosen as the foundation for Alika's future. That evening, as the sun set over the village, Alika joined her father in their simple, well-kept hut. She sat beside him, sensing the weight of his decision. Father, she begins gently, I see the burden this choice places on you. I trust your wisdom, but I wonder who you will choose to be my husband. Uchenna smiled softly at his daughter. My dear Alika, each suitor is worthy in his own way, but only one can be the right match for you. Let me tell you about them. He described Elimu, the scholar, with his deep well of knowledge and reverence for wisdom. Alika listened thoughtfully, acknowledging the respect Elimu commanded in the village, but questioning whether his understanding of the heart matched his understanding of the scrolls. Next, Uchenna spoke of Sekani, the man of quick wit and light spirit, who could bring laughter to any situation. Alika smiled, remembering the joy Sekani's presence always brought, but she wondered if joy alone could sustain a family through life's inevitable storms. Finally, Uchenna described Hamidi, the wood carver and farmer, whose strength and loyalty were as steadfast as the earth beneath their feet. Alika felt a deep sense of peace in Hamidi's presence and admired the quiet strength that spoke through his actions. Father, Alika said softly, you have seen much in your life. Who do you believe is the right man for me? Uchenna, taking her hand, gently said, Alika, since you became of age to marry, several young men in our village have approached me to ask for your hand in marriage. I have watched you grow into a responsible and kind young woman, and I know that you are now ready to marry and raise a family with your future husband. I have guided you with the wisdom of my years and the lessons my life experiences have taught me, and I will choose the man for you to be with forever. Each one of them seems worthy in his own way. The most important quality in a husband is that you must speak to his heart. A husband should love his wife, as I loved your mother all her days on earth. He must be able to provide you with peace, joy, and fulfillment. Alika, nodding, assuredly said, I will take your words to heart, Father, and I know you will find a way to choose the most suitable suitor that will become my husband. Thank you for your guidance. Uchenna responds as he smiles, The answer will come to me, Alika. I trust in God to show me the right path. We have a special day tomorrow. Let's get some sleep. Alika cannot fall asleep, and she walks outside where the sun is setting over the village. She walks a short distance from her home and looks toward the horizon, lost in thought. The next morning, Uchenna sits under a large baobab tree, deep in thought. The tree's massive trunk and broad canopy provide a cool, shady spot. Alika sits beside him, weaving a basket from palm fronds. Their home is a steady hut with a thatched roof, surrounded by a garden of medicinal herbs and colorful flowers. Uchenna said to Alika, My dear daughter, I have created a plan to test the true nature of each suitor. Alika responds, Father, I trust your wisdom. I knew you would find a way. Please tell me how you are going to distinguish the right husband for me from the 3 suitors. Uchenna reveals his plan to Alika. The method he will use to test the true nature of each suitor is to send word to each one of them that Alika has died, asking for help with her funeral. He instructed Alika to lie down in her bed as if she were dead and sent for the messenger, Jomo, to deliver the sad news of Alika's passing to the 3 suitors and villagers. When the messenger, Jomo, arrives at Elimu's home, the scholar was deep in his studies. Upon hearing the news, Elimu scoffed, refusing to spend his money on the funeral of someone who was not yet his wife. His heart, though filled with knowledge, was close to the needs of others. Jomo leaves Elimu's presence while shaking his head in disbelief. Next, Jomo visited Sekani, who was busy tending to his garden. Though surprised by the news, Sekani too declines to help, expressing frustration that he had not been informed of Alika's illness. His sharp wit and joyful demeanor failed him when it comes to matters of the heart. Jomo departs Sekani's presence disappointed. Finally, Jomo arrived at Hamidi's humble home. Upon hearing of Alika's death, Hamidi's heart fills with sorrow. He gathers some money and sets off for Alika's home, determined to mourn the woman who would have been his wife. His loyal dog followed him, as always, a testament to Hamidi's unwavering dedication. The difficult task entrusted to Jomo finally resulted in a compassionate response to Uchenna's request. When Hamidi arrived at Uchenna's home, he is greeted by the sight of villagers gathered in mourning. As he approaches the hut where Alika lies, Uchenna called out, revealing the truth. Alika, come here. This is your true husband. Alika rises from her bed, smiling warmly at Hamidi. The villagers gasp in astonishment, then break into applause. Hamidi's love and compassion has proven him to be the worthiest of Alika's hand. That very day, Uchenna blesses their union, and Alika and Hamidi plan their wedding soon after their betrothal. The wedding feast is filled with laughter, music, and dancing under the stars, as the villagers honor the love that has triumphed over all. The village is alive with celebration. Drummers play rhythmic beats, women dance in colorful attire, and children laugh and play. The atmosphere is filled with the joyous sounds of singing and laughter. Alika and Hamidi lovingly sit together, surrounded by friends and family. The air is filled with the aroma of delicious food, roasted goat, jollof rice, and fresh fruit. Sadiki and his wife Rehema are among the honored wedding guests. Sadiki turns to his wife and says, Hamidi is the right choice. His heart is true. Rehema replies with a nod of her head and said, Yes, they will be very happy together. Alika and Hamidi's marriage was a union of hearts and minds. Together, they brought prosperity and happiness to their village. Their love was a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who knew them. Alika and Hamidi lived happily ever after. Their story reminds us that true worth is not found in clever words or sharp wit, but in a compassionate heart and act of kindness.
Please like this video, ring the notification bell, and consider becoming a subscriber. Your comments provide feedback that help us create entertaining content for your enjoyment.